Hello everyone, my name is Saya and welcome to this episode of sayehsunstudio. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of the 2020 Toronto Flower Show. It's part of Canada Blooms and it was open for just a few hours and only to the people who exhibited in it, so very exclusive. But I think it's important that you see the beautiful work that was created there, and it's my way of acknowledging and thanking all those who worked so hard for the entire past year to put it all together. So let's take a look. For years I've been coming to the flower show and admiring the beautiful work there. And it was only last year that I asked a friend of mine who regularly entered about what was involved with entering the show, and she said, well, why don't you join the Garden Club of Toronto so that you can be a part of the competition? And I did, and it has been fantastic. Understanding how a show is organized, I think, is key to appreciating what it involves. So let me share a little bit about this flower show. It is part of Canada Blooms, and it features the work of the members of the different garden clubs, as well as a segment for the public, so the public can be a part of it. The part that's open to the members has horticulture and design, with hort being plants with roots, and there's a subsection under horticulture which involves designs with rooted plants. The public, however, can enter in the photography section, and there is a special section for children under 12 as a creative children's class. The flower show takes place over 10 days, which have been divided into 2 5-day segments. So if you come within each of those 5 days, it's like a brand new flower show. Entries take place the evening before the show starts and a little bit in the morning. And the reason for this really long entry period is a lot of the design is actually built on site. So people come with components and they build things right there to fit the space. And then after that, on the morning of the first day is judging, and the designs stay there for 5 days, and they're removed at the end of the 5 days. And right after they're removed, the next set of entries begin for the second 5 days. And before the show opens, and a little bit during the first hours, there's the judging of that second part of the show. And finally, on the 10th day, there's an award ceremony, where after that, all the designs from the second day are removed. And let's remember, this flower show is a competition, and of course, every competition needs some rules. And those rules can be found in the form of a competition schedule. It comes in the form of a booklet, and in it, to even out the playing field, different sections of the competition are divided into classes. That means between similar categories, whether it's similar design styles or similar plants, everything's divided up to make it an even playing field. And within the design sections, each of them has a really clear definition of what it's supposed to be. The classes also specify who can enter into that section. While everybody has to be a member of a garden club, for open classes, it can be from any garden club. If it's by invitation, the organizers invite people. Otherwise, it's limited to the Garden Club of Toronto members. And you can see examples of those classes. The classes in the horticulture section are open. That means anybody from all the different garden clubs can enter. And the only rule is that you have to have the plant growing in your house for at least 3 months. and it's great to see the different things that people grow. Another interesting section are the challenge classes. This one that I'm showing you is about amaryllis bulbs that the Garden Club of Toronto members got, and you're trying to get it to bloom just in time for the show. So it's a lot of excitement on who can get it to bloom at the right time. So now that we're getting into the special exhibits, I want to point out that, remember there was a title on the schedule, Birds of a Feather? Well, guess what? That's the theme of this competition, and every class from here on is going to have a title that is based off of that. So you'll start noticing things like Petite Birdcage, Birder's Paradise, and even Aerial Odyssey. And the first class we look at, class 38, it's called Petite Birdcage, and the convener, that is the person organizing the class, supplies a white bird cage to the participants, and they plant it with rooted plant material or cut flowers to create a beautiful exhibit. Class 39 is a container with rooted medicinal herbs that you might use in a bath. It's called Herbal Bath, and it contains all kinds of interesting things. You can even put cut blooms in it. Class 40 is called Birds of Prey, and it's a display that's equipped to be hanged from a freestanding black iron stand. I had to put in that little video so you could imagine how large these displays are, and it was supposed to show birds of prey but with rooted plant material and cut flowers, foliage, branches, and other plant material. Class 41 was called Birds, Bees, and Butterflies, and it was a low open container or basket that you had planted with spring flowering bulbs, foliage plants, and other plants. So you can see these baskets look stunning. And right behind this you can see class 42, which was called Water for the Desert Birds. And this was about planting rooted succulents and even cacti in a bird bath. So there's a lot of interesting compositions here, and you really get a lot of ideas for things you can do in your own house. Another special exhibit was Class 48, titled Big Bird. So an exhibit of root plant material, cut flowers, foliage, branches in this large space, staged on artificial turf. Class 101 is the first in the design competition schedule, called Voices of Spring, and it was a novice class. That means for people who haven't won a first place ribbon at the Toronto Flower Show. And they were beautiful. While Class 102 is a Dutch Flemish design, and it was called Enhanced by a Nest. You can see them. And the idea was to create designs that would be, you could see inside frames from the 16th, 17th century, those luscious flower arrangements. They look like they came straight out of a painting and were beautiful. Class 103 was a large display, and it was called Murmurations of Starlings. So it was a question of how you interpret a design like that. And that's what everybody tried to show. And you can see these look like they're flying, suspended in air. Our next class is 104, and it's a miniature design, the smallest design in the entire show. and it's called Awakening. It's a design that uses predominantly fresh plant material, and it's staged in a clear acrylic cube, 13 centimeters in each direction, 5 inches. And you can see they are adorable, tiny, tiny little things. And you can put some backdrops behind them to create a bit more of an atmosphere. And class 105 is the same container, but this time it's called Fluttering Wings, and it uses dried or preserved plant material. And the beauty is, in this case, you see examples of people have actually suspended their designs from the top of the box to give it that flying look. And class 106, it's called Something to Crow About, an op art design. This was the first time that I was seeing something like this, and so I was very excited to see examples. And it's about optical illusion and creating visual movement within your piece. Class 107 was called The Legend of the Firebird, and it's an open class, and it's supposed to represent a firebird made of dried or fresh plant material that can be viewed from all different angles. Class 108 is a table design where people interpret the theme Singing in the Rain. And you could make these own tables at your own house for a fancy dinner party. Absolutely beautiful. If you love high pressure competitions, it doesn't get more high pressure than this. Class 109, called Twigs and Twine, is an imposed class where all the material is supplied and you show up, and between 6 and 9 a.m. you have to create a design. And it is pretty exciting to participate in and watch. So keep your eyes open for this class from now on. So class 110 is an open class called Flight of Fancy. And you can see the different designs interpreting what it means to fly. And so again, this is fantastic because how can you show flight with flowers? So here we come to one of my favorite classes. I was delighted to enter it. It's called Birder's Paradise, and it's open to all the different clubs, and it's a naturalistic picture using dried, dyed, pressed, treated, or other plant-based material. So essentially a collage that portrays a natural scene. And so many people used it to create a beautiful landscape design. And maybe because I had no preconceptions of what this class would be, or I had no idea what I was doing, I created birds because I thought it would be a congregation. That's my work, and it turned out pretty good. And so many people want to know how to do it that I'm going to be making a video about it. So watch out for that one. But I am in awe of these beautiful landscapes. And I have to give a shout out to my friend Madhu. The one on the left is her beautiful design. And class 112 is a really interesting one. It's called Mockingbird's View. And this is where you get to choose a painting from the list that they have. And you have to create a design, your choice of whatever style, that interprets that painting. So everybody got a different painting, and everybody had a different approach. This is another one of my entries, and it was just beautiful the way that everybody captured it. And then class 113 was for the love of water. So water was supposed to be a major component within this design. Class 114, it's called Birds of a Feather, and it's an ikebana design. So a lot of Japanese elements. And we get to class 115, which is the international class. It's called Aerial Odyssey. It's a really large space. And it's by invitation from the member countries of the World Association of Flower Arrangers. So the designers came from 10 different countries for this particular exhibit, and you can see their beautiful creations. The photography competition is open to the public, to all interested amateur photographers. It's got 4 themes: a chip off the old block, from a bird's eye view, lovebirds, and somewhere over the rainbow. So definitely worth entering. So what better way to end our tour than by looking at the Creative Children's class? Each exhibitor has to be 12 years or under, and for this particular competition, they each got a hat where they could decorate, and it was a fantastic way to get children involved in a flower show. I mean, imagine their joy coming to the flower show and seeing their beautiful decorated hat there on display. Can you think of a more perfect way to conclude our tour? I don't think so. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that video, and now you're excited for 2021. It wouldn't have been possible without the help of my friends who gave me the pictures that I hadn't taken, so thank you so much to my awesome friends. And a big thank you to the organizers who put in so much effort to make it happen. Watch out for my upcoming videos on Canada Blooms itself, as well as instructions on how to make your own naturalistic artwork. Now, if you liked what you saw, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget, if you press that notification button, you'll know whenever I have a new video. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and until next time, stay safe and do lots of awesome botanical art. And one last thing before I go. I need to give a special thanks to the Garden Club of Toronto and so many amazing people that helped me gather the material for this video. Thank you all so much. And also be on the lookout for a compilation that the Garden Club is going to put out of all the beautiful pictures from this year's flower show. It will be available this fall, and check for details on the website of the Garden Club of Toronto. See you soon.